Hey guys, it's Linda and welcome to Sew and Tell. For this video we are making scrunchies and they turn out really cute. They were also really easy to make. I'll actually show you 4 different methods just in case you want to do it on the sewing machine or hand sewing or with a glue gun. So there's a lot of options there. But if you guys like this video, make sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell for more videos like this one. I think that's it. Let's get started. Okay, so first you're going to need fabric, and you can use anything you have laying around, an old t-shirt, an old pillowcase, or just scrap fabric. And then for the base of the scrunchie, it's a 20 by 4 inch rectangle, so cut that out of your fabric. And I'm using a rotary cutter, but you can use scissors if that's what you have. If you wanted to change up the scrunchie and make it a little skinnier or a little thicker, you can play around with those numbers too. Okay, so for method number 1, here are all the supplies you'll need. First, you want to fold it in half, hot dog style, with the right sides touching, and then sew up that long seam, but make sure you leave an inch at the top and bottom unsewn, and we'll get to that in a little bit. After that, you are going to take a safety pin and attach it to one of the ends. That way you can flip this entire tube right side out. Okay, so with the ends that you left open, touch them right side to right side along that shorter seam and then sew that up. After that, you have this long circular tube thing with a little opening slit, but basically that's where you're going to insert in the elastic. Grab your elastic, attach a safety pin to both ends with one also attached to the opening so you don't lose the elastic halfway through. And now you're going to weave it through the inside of the tube, and then once you have both of the elastic coming out from each end, you can either tie it off with a knot. I know that a lot of people like to do that, it's a lot faster, but I wanted to lay flat, so I just overlapped the elastic about an inch and then did a zigzag stitch to close that up. And basically you have a scrunchie now. The only thing is there's a little opening hole at the top. You can either hand sew it if you want it to be more of an invisible one, or to make it a lot faster, you can just top stitch it along the edge, and that's basically how you make your scrunchie. For method number 2, you are going to need the same supplies as method number 1. The only thing is it's a different sewing method. So you want to fold your fabric in half, hamburger style. I don't know why it's called that because it doesn't even look like a hamburger. And hamburgers don't even fold. Anyways, so once you have it folded, you want to sew up that short seam. And this part could get a little bit confusing, but basically you're taking the top layer of the fabric, folding the top portion of it down, and then taking the bottom portion of it and folding it upwards. So it kind of creates this overlap tube thing in the center. And then you're going to take the bottom layer of the fabric and fold it in half, hot dog style. So here's another view of it in case that was a little bit confusing. But basically you're going to sew up that longer edge, and while you're sewing it, I would recommend you sew 2 inches, stop with the needle in the fabric still, and then you're gonna pull the tube outwards. Once you get towards the end, make sure you leave about a 2-inch opening. You'll get this caterpillar looking thing. You're basically gonna push all of the fabric that's on the inside out of that little hole that you left, and it should look like this. It's the same circular tube that we got on method number 1, but it was just a different way to get to this point. So from here, you're just going to loop the elastic all the way through with the safety pin, secure the ends together, and then top stitch it to finish off the scrunchie. But for this one, I didn't have a matching thread, so it's kind of more obvious, but yeah, this is scrunchie number 2. Okay, so method number 3 is the hand sewing version, and here are all of the supplies. So first you want to thread your needle and make sure that the thread is as long, or actually longer, than the length of your fabric so you don't have to re-thread it later. Fold down the short end of your fabric about 1/2 inch. After that, you are going to basically wrap the fabric around your hair tie with the right sides touching. At this point, you want to secure that little corner with your stitch, and then you're just going to do a running stitch all the way down the fabric while you are wrapping the hair tie. It might look a little confusing, but I promise it's really like straightforward when you're actually doing it. So after you have the running stitch all the way down, you want to secure the end of your stitch, and then you basically have a scrunchie that is inside out. So you are going to take one of the ends and then kind of unroll it so that it is right side out. After that, you'll have a little opening, so you have to secure it. This is where the initial fold comes into play because it gives it a cleaner finish. So basically you want to take the end that isn't folded and you kind of shove it into the side that is folded, and you're just going to stitch this up. I used an invisible stitch because I like that you can't really see it, but you can also just like top stitch it or stitch it through all the layers of the fabric, anything to just secure it. But yeah, that's scrunchie number 3. And last but not least, we have version number 4, which is the glue gun method. And with this one, I think the fabric prep is the most important part. So make sure you have an iron to iron this out, or you can also use a hair strainer, whatever you got. But basically, make sure it's nice and flat. Then fold it in half hot dog style and iron along that edge. Once you open it up, fold the outer edge in about 3/8 of an inch on both sides. Also press it so it's nice and creased, and I promise you it's going to make the entire scrunchie process on this one so much easier if you press it out. The next part, you want to grab your glue gun, glue along that short edge on the right side of the fabric, and then grab the other end and sandwich it together so it's nice and secured. Now that you have it in a loop, you are going to wrap it around whatever cylinder thing you were using to hold it into place. I'm just folding it because it's a lot easier to get the hair tie around it that way. Make sure that the hair tie is like sitting at the center of the fabric. After that, you are going to unravel the folds because it's going to make it a lot easier to glue. So it should look like it's all gathered around or like it's a loofah, but basically from here it's like the easiest part. You are just going to glue the top portion down to the other side, and all of the crease and prep work is going to make this process so much faster. So I started at the seam and I'm just pinching that together with the glue in the middle and working my way all the way around, and that is scrunchie number 4. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I actually liked version 1 and 4 the best, just because the first one I felt like was the fastest, and then the hot glue gun was just surprisingly really easy and really neat, and I didn't burn myself, so I liked it a lot. Anyways, I will also be selling these scrunchies and other DIY projects on my Poshmark account. So if you guys are interested in supporting my little business, please check that out. I'll leave it in the description box. But I think that's it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! Cheers! 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 Cheers!